has just begun. The choices he has made, his bed is already laid, 'cause he's a dead man walking.
Hello. We're live. Where Cody and Theta they just disappeared. They saw us live and they got stage fright and ran away. But welcome back to our Aliens podcast. We have Lunella back. And when those guys are back, well, I guess I could run through what happened last time. Last time on Aliens, which would be 2 weeks ago, the power went out while they were in jail, and they started hearing some fighting around the colony. So, after a little bit of shenanigans about breaking out of the jail cells, they all basically went in separate directions to try to escape the colony. Max went just straight for the shuttle and straight into some UPP troopers, got in a huge gunfight, and unfortunately, even with his ability to re-roll damage results, he rolled 2 6s and was blown into smithereens. He is an android, however, so that is a survivable condition. Xander, the other android, tried to follow Max, got a little turned around. Max was a little bit too sneaky, lost Xander. Xander got in a fight and got his head knocked off, or at least skewed, and he rescued a colonist, and then they managed to meet up with Jimmy. Jimmy ran into some fellow colonists from the container stats who ended up being UPP sympathizers who were helping the UPP take over this colony. They all managed to meet up back at the spaceport and arrive just in time to see Max being blown apart. And we had a very, heartfelt scene where everyone showed their emotions about how they felt about Max. And was that the first time that Jimmy had seen that Max was a robot?
Yup.
So that all went down, and that's where we left off last time. They were all in UPP custody, and the commander of this attack was about to meet up with them. Since we've got 2 people missing, let's segue into what is your favorite item in a house that makes it really feel like a home?
A Wi-Fi router.
A Wi-Fi router?
I'd have to agree.
Because I said a table, because I need a dinner table. That's what I need.
I'll say a couch to be different.
Oh yeah, couches. The essential. But well, we do have our Theta back.
Yeah, I told you guys you were alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we were doing the introduction.
We did a whole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
we
just
did
heard
an
you talking
introduction,
about
a little
furniture.
bit of a recap.
Yep.
Yeah, almost right as you arrived, we started talking about what's one item in a house that really makes it feel like a home.
A bed.
That's a pretty good one.
Well, otherwise it's just a room you're sleeping on the floor.
Yeah. But I guess would that be the full? Are you considering the mattress part of the? Would all you need is a mattress then, or do you need a full bed?
I have at plenty points in my life just slept on a mattress that was laying on the floor. So yes.
I think Theta makes a good point. In a few camping excursions for LARP, usually there's some small camp huts around, and about all they have is just a bed frame and a mattress. There you go. Now it's a livable space. Congratulations. Some had closets.
Yeah, never thought about that. Only some had closets.
Yeah, they were the bigger, fancier ones that were obviously not prefab structure-ish.
Should we? I kind of want to wait for Cody because his character is actually able to communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go bring back Cody, Theta.
All right, be right back.
Oh, we'll see him in 6 to
I
8
wonder if
years
he's just
on
gonna
that walk.
wait. Yeah. It would blow my mind if he just walked into the other screen.
It's like, Theta, we didn't know you had the superpower.
I guess we haven't mentioned the transition to Eclipse phase at all.
Nope, but I suppose that's something we're playing on the future. So you could go ahead and spoil that if you wanted to.
Do we want to keep it? Do we want to keep it on the down low, or?
Well, I mean, I think ultimately it's either way you want to do it. It'll be out when it's out, but you can if you just want to burn some time, go ahead, tell everyone.
All right, since we have a little bit of time to burn, we are. Well, I've had a little bit of. I don't know. Maybe I've just been. I just don't feel Aliens is quite right for the campaign, setting, or at least the campaign that I'd like to run. And so, as soon as this campaign reaches a good stopping point, or everyone's dead, or there's a happy ending, something like that. As soon as we reach a good spot, we're going to transition into Eclipse phase, which will be a totally different sci-fi game, but kind of focused on Eclipse phase. That's or not. Eclipse phase is the game. We're going to be doing Eclipse phase 2nd edition, and the setting is very similar to the show Altered Carbon. So, if anyone's an Altered Carbon fan, then that's going to be kind of the setting we're going to be in. So, we'll have a session 0, and then we'll get that going. Probably. Oh, that's awesome! You've got the book. Is that the first one?
Probably so. I have not read it. Now's probably a good time to.
Yeah.
If you want to make it, I mean, I don't know how easy of a read it is, or
Get
how
my
quick of a
gun
reader
for
you
me.
are, but
Yes, ma'am.
there's also
Black
the
or
show.
green. First thing I opened it up to, it's like, oh, oops.
Interesting.
Multicolored guns.
Yeah, I want to read the book and see how it compares to the show.
I think they go through. I think there's several. I think the show has a faster pace than the book, is what I've heard. Like I think the show, like the first season of the show, encompasses several books, or at least that's what I've heard.
That sounds pretty nice.
Altered Carbon. Oh.
How many pages we got here? Plenty. Okay. Got a book queue now.
Sounds like there's a lot of interesting discussions about the show versus the book.
Ooh. Oh yeah, you change media formats, you gotta change a whole bunch of stuff.
So they describe it as the books are stories about power and revolutionary policies, while the show is more of an action-adventure love story with some light class critique.
That's good, because that's kind of what I was wanting more in the show. So
More action.
More like explanation of the world around them, I think.
Mm-hmm. Gotta do your world building.
Yeah. They made such a cool I don't know, me and Eli were debating this the other day, but they have such a cool cyberpunk theme going on. And then they kind of just throw it away in the 2nd season.
Oof.
The Eclipse Phase won several RPG awards for best setting and best product and best art.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty excited.
Do not have a character yet, though.
Yeah, I
well, that's why we're gonna have a session 0.
Yeah.
I'll understand how the mechanics work eventually-ish, probably.
I'm fairly certain that Theta has several characters built.
As Theta wills it, yes.
Yes.
He can and will have consumed the system already, have diagnosed everything that is a part of character creation, and come to his perfect, exactly what he wants build. Theta knows what he wants. And that is very,
He knows
very
exactly what
good
he
quality for him to have. I appreciate it greatly. You know what you want? Cool. We move along. Awesome.
Very decisive.
Oh gosh, I don't need to tell you how often it's been. I've been sitting at tables like, okay, everyone, what are you guys gonna play? And so like, oh, I'll play what no one else is playing, says every person.
Yeah, someone's got to be
Someone
like
has to
that.
like be the one to be the first input, so everyone falls into place.
Yeah, it's necessary.
But yeah, so it looks like Cody has been gone for a while. I'm a little worried what might be happening with him, and we got our Theta back
Yeah.
anyway.
I couldn't find Cody. He's not on this side of the screen.
Oh no,
Man, what a shame.
Oh, did you try the other side?
I would, but I
You didn't build a portal?
it's a wall. I would run into a wall.
Damn
Oh,
it.
well, what if it's a fake wall? What if it's platforms 9 3/4? You just need to run through it really fast.
Yeah.
Really confident.
You're joking, but
blind speed.
I probably would go right through that wall. I am having a problem with humidity in the walls and everything like that. I was just on the roof earlier today fixing a roofing problem. I would probably go right through that wall.
Oh dear, yeah. I say we go ahead and get this party started.
All right, let's just push on ahead. So, you guys have you're all gathered around Max's dead-ish body. I guess we can call you dead-ish.
Yeah.
In the bottom of the spaceport, awaiting this commander of the UPP, and after a minute or so, it seems like they're also giving you a little bit of time around Max's body. You hear a I hear you've come to speak with me, and you all look around and you see, dressed in a very dapper outfit, is what I don't know. There was probably enough enough intel or enough interaction between the UPP and the United States or the USMC that what a UPP commander looks like, and this is the token right here. He's 40 feet tall.
Oh wow. They brought in the giant death robot just for us. Yeah, I imagine Jimmy
So
is like
he,
turning around at this point, like with the smoke.
He has his arms clasped behind his back, and he says, "I am Captain Semyon. What I hear that you are looking to join the glorious cause that is the UPP."
Yep, I think it's probably about time I defect.
You are
Pleasure to
saying
meet you,
defect.
Commander.
Who is it that you currently work for?
Well, it was the Colonial Marines once. Now it was the Siegson for a while. So now I'm signing up for the UPP.
The UPP is always willing to accept those progressives who are willing to come to the light of our great society. But what is it that you can offer the UPP?
I'm a pilot with years of experience. I've done I've flown dropships before, and you got a handy one back there. And well, I do have other military training. I'm already ready, sir.
And what has caused you to view Siegson so poorly that you are willing to defect?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a little bit of law trouble here and there because of a certain someone. I'm looking for amnesty. That's the only request I'm going to make for my son.
Your son, where's Where is
All
your
over the
son?
floor back there.
He... Oh, heavens.
I think last time we
An
put
android?
him in a bucket.
Oh, yeah, you have him in a mop bucket.
Yeah, Connor just put him in a bucket.
What,
But also for
how did you come
for
to
my
have
friend
an
Xander
android
and
son?
Conrad here. Well, gonna be quite honest, beats the hell out of me. If I had an answer for that, I'd be a lot less confused today. There's a lot of stuff happening that's not in my control and that I don't know about, so I'm gonna take a deep breath, figure it out later. But I also got my friend
What can you
Xander
tell us
here,
about
and
this facility here?
well, I think Connor here can actually tell you a lot about that. Connor, you used to work directly for Seegson as their liaison. If you'd be willing to offer up that information here, I think they'd be willing to offer you amnesty too. And then I'll like lean in on Conrad's ear and just go, "You really ought to. This might be your only way out. This is the only friendly thing I can do for you."
Conrad's very game on this. What information would you like? I used to work for Seegson.
Well, the first thing would be access to the C block, and we have encountered a great deal of encrypted information and information that might take us a great deal amount of time to unpack and decipher. Would you happen to have anything that could aid us in that process? Any insider information?
Well,
I lean over to his ear again and go, "Definitely, yes, definitely."
definitely yes. We could get you into the C block.
What exactly was your role for Seegson?
I worked as a corporate agent, attending, various adventures, overseeing certain requests.
Well, then I think we have an opportunity to make a deal. You said you had some criminal trouble, I
Oh
believe?
yes, plenty.
There's
Do you
been
care
some
to elaborate with...
To be honest, it's hard for me to remember it all, but I'm quite good at stealing guns and using them to defend myself, especially from Seegson.
I see. So we have a pilot, a mop bucket, and a gun crazy and a gun crazy corporate
Well,
agent.
it's a motley crew, but it's a good one.
Don't forget the guitarist, the most important part. And Jimmy just takes a big pull on his cigarette here.
Yeah, we got ambiance. Let's put it that way.
Well, you've certainly given me something to think about, and I would certainly enjoy anything that a Seegson agent would be willing to offer to decipher what we have found here. And I'm sure the UPP has we've got a great need for pilots, as always. Although we don't really need that mop bucket, I'm sure that android could have a wealth of information inside its synthetic brain.
Well, like I said, I'm offering myself to give him some kind of amnesty. He kind of needs it, I think.
I think that is something that we can arrange. We will arrange that you will be escorted off the ship with the rest of us.
Good.
Well, off the
as long as
colony,
you
I
can
should say.
Yeah. I think Xander can carry the bucket for you, so that should take care of that.
For now, I think that we should. I think we'll have to confine you to. Do you have any quarters here on this colony?
Yeah, back at E Block.
Delightful. Well, in order to decode, well, we haven't quite cured Siegs and Block, so I think for now we will have to confine you to your quarters in E Block, and at such a time that we have secured the facility, then by all means we will grab you and let you, how should I say, assist us in all the research.
I'll be waiting orders, Commander Sir. And he just like salutes CM style.
Conrad also
USCM.
salutes.
He kind of gives you a little bit of an odd look and just salutes you
Jimmy
as
has like proper decor.
they do, and then
Conrad just weird.
He points to two different troopers, and he escort these two back to this Jimmy's room, and keep an eye on them.
Yes, I'm homeless, so I guess I will have to go to Jimmy's room.
Yeah, you can sleep on the futon.
I'll take a futon.
Assuming Max didn't leave
Okay.
anything inside it this time.
Just a block of C4.
Let me tell you about the time he put a pressure-sensitive smoke bomb in there to pretend that there was a fire so he could escape being grounded.
To be fair,
Futon grenade.
to be fair, it could be anything from a block of C4 to a bucket of ice water over the door.
Wide range of options he's capable of acquiring is honestly fascinating, and suddenly put into a new perspective given his android body.
Destroy all humans.
So we're going back to E-Block and Jimmy's apartment.
Yeah, so
I
they
assume there will
escort
be
you
like kind of
back in.
fix data on the side.
So they escort you all back to the E Block, and there are two UPP soldiers, or one UPP soldier and one colonist that they end up stationing outside your door, or at least in the vicinity of E Block, and they put you into your room, and the door has shut. Your room looks like it's been relatively untouched from everything that's happened. So,
Oh, there's the cold
you're
coffee
here.
I left on the counter 3 days ago.
There might have been someone from security that came through and, made sure your oven was off and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
aside from that, you guys are all alone in your room. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I guess the first order is probably repairing Max.
So,
It's like a
in
whole
order
day.
to it'll take a shift, which is going to be 6 hours of time.
Yeah, and I figure we have the time at the moment to do that.
It also takes a successful check.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the most difficult part, is the successful check.
So it has been several minutes at least, so my stress is gone at this point.
Yep.
So
All
good note.
stress is gone. I guess Xander can also, since Xander is not completely destroyed, he can attempt to heal himself as well.
Okay. I do have 5 in heavy machinery. I think Xander had a little bit more.
It's going to be a Comtech check.
Oh, Comtech. Well, I'm definitely better than that. Well, no, actually, I'm the same. Yeah, that's another 5 dice for me, and I think Conrad actually has a better Comtech than I do.
I have 2.
Oh, you have only 2 dice total?
Yeah.
Oh, I
And-
thought you were even better hacker. My bad.
Unless something else goes with it.
Yeah. I know Max has a ton, but Max is not going to be able to assist with this one, I think.
Do you add wits?
Yeah,
yeah.
you add your wits.
So that would be 7 dice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
look-
there you go.
yeah.
So
And Xander has 8.
Okay. So Since Xander's not here, let's go ahead and have Conrad do the roll. I'll assist, that's +1, and then Xander is technically assisting for another one.
Well, he should repair himself since he has the head damage.
Okay,
So-
that makes sense. So he does himself for a shift, and we work on Max for a shift. Ooh, hey, that looks pretty good. And just 3 successes.
So let's see Xander's Comtech check. And of course. So maybe it's because he's got his head flopping around that he can't quite line everything up. But he's not going to be repaired. But Conrad, you will, or not Conrad, Max, you will be repaired. Now it looks like. Yeah, a Comtech roll is required to repair all lost hit points and all critical injuries. So you have all your health is back and all your critical injuries are gone. But you will suffer a permanent mental trauma. So, would you like to roll for that?
Yeah, I don't have.
Yeah, fun times.
I don't have the book open though, so you tell me what the roll is.
All right, I think it's only a 1d6. It's a 1d6. So it looks like you have nightmares. So it's here. I'll copy the text into the Roll20 chat. But it says make an empathy roll whenever you sleep. If the roll succeeds, you have a horrible nightmare and your stress level increases by 1.
So I got the most useless of them all because I don't make empathy checks. I have no empathy.
So I think you should re-roll this one.
You sure? Maybe I just have nightmares and they're just visions that I have.
Yeah, this
what I'm
isn't
gonna say-
robot specific,
yeah.
is it?
No, it's not robot specific. What I'm going to say is this will be an exception to the stress mechanic. So this is the only time that you actually can have stress.
So we have an android who ends up panicked the entire day. That's
well,
fun.
I mean, anytime that I also don't sleep, so that's also cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I have no idea how androids work, so this is on YouTube right now.
Yeah, since you can't sleep at all, that doesn't really
Well,
do anything to
this
you.
is the way the rules are written. Looks like this is what I got. If I ever were to sleep, if I was to become a real boy, I'd have nightmares. Until we find that mystical fairy who promises me all of my dreams come true, then I guess I'm just gonna have to escape this consequence-free.
Well, I guess I'm unaffected again.
Cool,
Yeah.
no consequences for my actions, the way I lived all my life.
It doesn't say there's any different sort of permanent mental trauma. So
Yep,
you
and the
now
thing...
have nightmares if you ever sleep.
Yeah, it says make an empathy roll when you sleep. It doesn't say you have to sleep.
Yeah, and synthetics don't need sleep. They're robots.
Right.
So
And I don't gain stress levels.
there you
Ew,
go.
That's so fun.
Got out of my near-death experience without A, death, or 2, consequences.
Nothing, really.
So really, the only way I can kill you is by killing everyone around you and then killing you. Or, well, killing you and then killing everyone else. Or a large explosion.
Right, so you're saying that the only way to kill me is to kill me. Got it.
Speaking of large explosions, at this point, the fuel silo explodes. No. So for the last few hours, you have all been kind of antsy, moving around this apartment, trying to do repairs. You two have been focused. Conrad and Jimmy have been focused on like putting back together Max. I mean, probably a lot of
tilting his
duct
head
tape and
back
super
forth.
glue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xander's trying to like reattach his head, and you just You just don't have enough duct tape or something like that.
Here, I got these Halloween Frankenstein neck bolts we can just put on you.
At the moment, he's got like popsicle sticks propping up his neck in one direction. But Xander has been unable to repair himself, so he is still suffering from the head dislocation. So essentially, in combat, he'll only have one action instead of two. During this time, you guys have been hearing a variety of activities going on outside your E block. At first, you guys are hearing what sounds like a little bit more fighting. You hear two distinct explosions that sound like they came from somewhere below you, and they kind of shake the E block. But after that, there's no enormously loud noises. You do hear a little bit of commotion as it sounds like there's a lot of movement going on, like kind of around you and in the B block. At about 3 hours into this whole ordeal, this whole shift, you hear a large bout of gunfire, and then quiet. And then in another hour, you hear another extreme amount of gunfire. And after that, it's quiet. And so you've kind of been left in, there's several large bouts of gunfire, and then nothing. And so it's been about, probably in total, it's probably been about 7 hours since you think this attack started. And it's about at this point that you hear a knock on your door.
Yeah, come in.
I
Still
pull
not
out-
locked.
I pull out my gun.
Max, I put that away in my pocket for now because you have proven you aren't that great of a shot yet, despite everything I've tried.
Really? I seem to have taken off a squad of their commandos.
Squad, huh?
Yeah. Also,
Uh.
I want to point out I have a hidden stash. I can have this gun on me. I pull out my gun.
I was going to ask that. Is that your hidden stash for this session?
That's my hidden stash.
Yeah, if it's still hidden, then I can't do anything. But I probably have told Max that we are now siding with UPP specifically so that we can get you amnesty, Max.
Yeah, but you don't know who's knocking on that door.
Yeah, but don't just hold up for a little while, and we can get through this. Okay?
It takes a split second for a person to be rendered dead.
Can Conrad use his hidden stash?
Everyone just has stuff
You,
hidden in Jimmy's room.
Did you complete your hidden stash roll the
I don't
last
think
time?
I trained it yet.
Yeah.
So then you don't quite have it yet.
To be fair,
Oh.
she did spend a whole session not doing anything.
That's true.
But she needs an entire day to
Yeah.
train it.
But all my guns are gone, I guess.
But yeah, Jimmy will get the door.
You open the door and you see that it's the two soldiers that were stationed outside your door, and they say, "It is we're loading up the shuttle and we're getting ready to depart. Are you all prepared?"
Yeah, I'm ready. I got my bug out bag right here.
Yeah. Can I take a knife out of Jimmy's kitchen?
Yeah. Are you going to try to hide a knife on yourself?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Oh, you've had
You're
plenty of
hiding a
time
knife?
for it.
Yeah, you've had tons of time.
Dad, what'd you do with my armor?
I assume it was kind of left back over in the spaceport. I don't think it was quite fully on you yet.
Yeah. Oh. Hello.
Can't hear you. Maybe he uses push to talk.
He might have push to talk.
Oh, I think
I'm
sorry. Okay, I figured it out now. I apologize. Hey, I am Fabian's boyfriend, for those of you who don't know me. Fabian is not feeling well. He asked me to come and apologize to you guys again.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
I hope he gets. I hope
Well,
he
it
gets
doesn't
better.
sound good.
But yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to quickly pop in and let you guys know what's going on.
Thanks for keeping us updated.
And I'm gonna go ahead.
I hope it feels better. Go ahead and keep
Yeah,
the
no,
window
I-
open just so that we have don't have to have Theta do more work.
Do you have something you can just put over the camera so we can keep it on but not see anything?
I can try and find something here if you need me to.
Well, yeah, because it would
Thanks.
change it would change the video layout if you closed it, and I'd have to spend another 10 minutes fixing it. I know.
That's cool. No, like let me see if I can find like a blanket or something to throw over.
I know
real
he's
quick.
had something he's put over it before. That's the only reason why I've asked.
Oh, hold on, he's calling me here.
Exciting.
Yeah, we found something here. Give me 1 second.
No worries.
All right. So, well, he's got that handled, and we're being summoned. So, I've got my life's possessions in a bag right now. Mostly money, it seems,
Mostly money.
and a couple beers still.
So it's probably what we'll say happened is while Xander was fiddling with himself, he accidentally hit some switch, or he messed with himself in just a little bit of a wrong way, and he's managed to accidentally power himself down or into like in some sort of sleep mode, and so he's currently being like led along by another one of you.
Well, I always told him if he did that too much, he'd go blind.
This isn't entirely out of character for Xander, from what I know.
Usually it's just what he calls drunk, or maybe that's what he did. He actually was spending too much time raiding your fridge, and he overloaded his system.
So that's why the whole case went away.
That's what you were looking for when you were packing your bag. You're like, all right, I got my money, got my clothing, and where's that case of beer?
Yeah, I got my ice cold beer right into the bag. I'll last in space.
I mean, it'll stay cold in space, right?
Yeah.
Would you need a freezer in space? Could you just like have all your
Well,
your
there's
frozen
a theoretical temperature to like the average of any bit of space, but that's because there are molecules in there that ostensibly have some heat energy. But of course, when there's vacuum, there's nothing. Some items do actually have do convect. I think no. You can't do convection unless you're touching, which is another molecule bumps into you. You can do radiation where you'll lose heat to the vacuum and maybe some radiates onto you. But it's space, unless the sun is pointing at you. I think like space station astronauts end up with like going between like hundreds of degrees whenever like they go behind the Earth and whenever they're in view of the sun.
So if you kept your ship between the sun and you could theoretically have a perfect freezer on the outside of your ship.
Yeah, exactly. Just use the dark side.
Yeah. Yep. That's exciting. So they start packing you all up. Is there any does Max have any special items that he wants to take with him? I'm sure there's a bag of assorted items that are stash items that you can take with you.
My lunchbox full of ketchup packets.
And when we say ketchup packets, it's a bunch of guns that you have just stashed there for future use.
Look, man, if there's a code word for ketchup packets, I don't know what it is.
The sauce.
It'd be really funny. You're like, can I have extra ketchup on that? And you show up, you get a burger, and there's just a gun in there.
Oh, I got it. Ketchup is code word for kill.
Oh no, I activated his kill phrase 3 months ago and asked if he wanted it on a sandwich. No.
We can't go back to that Burger King.
Oh. That would be a really cool, like if you were playing a modern, secret agent game. That's what
Oh gosh.
I don't know if so
Do we need to fix the stream?
I'm waiting to see, because Cody has been typing for a minute now since he turned his camera off, so If he's
I'd say go ahead and just start fixing it on the side now.
confusing that Lanilla's is the only. Well, no, my camera's fine too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
top
Lunella
row
and
kind
Theta's
of like
are
ended
perfectly
up in the
fine.
same space. So
Right, but I'm in the start. Like mine is first camera, hers is last camera. So you'd think
Yeah,
it'd
it
be
shifts
mine
around.
and Eli's would be the ones that are fine, but they're not.
I wonder
Welcome
if it's
to
based
Alien's
on where you
technical
put the
difficulties.
overlays. Just like in the show, we always have technical difficulties.
Mother is just Eli's forehead.
Mysterious water on our spaceship.
Oh, it doesn't look. It looks like Mother is just like the. Was that the corner of my room, just over here? So I could just.
Right.
Hello.
And Griff has
Don't have
some
to
sort
adjust it
of
at all.
Griff has some sort of weird effect happening on his
Ooh.
camera on the only on the stream though, not in his reality, where it looks like his wall is covered in vents. And apparently
Oh yeah,
weird.
I see that.
eldritch
Yeah.
text as well.
Oh, wait,
We're
no!
seeing
Pay no
into the-
attention to the Eldritch text. It's not there. Don't worry about. Don't look at it. Definitely don't recite it out loud.
So you guys are led outside of E Block, and you're led through the outside, avoiding B Block and A Block, and are moved through that kind of this open space until you reach the spaceport. From
Mhm.
along the path, you see C Block, and it looks like C Block has almost been entirely demolished. You see, it looks intentional. It looks like someone has even it looks like they've taken the time to take apart several of the this prefabbed building, and it looks like they searched it through every single wall to try to find every piece of what you think information. And you also see that there's several of your transport vehicles kind of just parked on the spaceport with their rear hatches down, where it looks like they were probably shuttling different equipment and have just left these vehicles here for whatever purpose, you don't know. As you guys are approaching the dropship, you're seeing that the only people that are being loaded on the ship are currently UPP troopers and you guys. You're not seeing any UPP colonists or any other members of Seegson or anything like that.
Right. My imagination, of course, is I bet they probably all tried to defend in C Block and went down with the ship, given that it's completely demolished. But maybe I'll strike up a conversation with the trooper. It's like, so what went down?
I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to talk to you.
Come on.
I
We're working
really
together.
shouldn't be saying anything. And at this point, you've kind of gotten onto the dropship, and you're kind of securing yourself to the seats, and you're talking to the guy next to you. I really shouldn't say anything to you. Official business.
Oh, come on, we're on the same side. You can't talk to us.
This is the time for you to roll manipulation.
Yeah, roll manipulation. I'm two places at once. I am Mother. I am Cody. I am Cody Mother.
You're all things.
Are the cameras fixed at this point, Theta? Do we need Cody to re-hop on? So, Lunella,
good.
this might be the first time you've actually succeeded a manipulation check. So this might be a little unusual, but you have several choices here. So you've got one success. So one success is enough to get you. You've manipulated this guy into telling you what you want to know, but you have these extra successes. So with these two extra successes, these are your stunts. So several of these are your opponent does what you want without demanding a favor in return. Your opponent does more than you ask for for example, giving you some useful piece of information. Details are up to the GM. Or your opponent is impressed by you and will try to help you out later in some other way. What would you like to do?
Name the first option.
If you look in that the aliens book I passed you,
Yeah.
page 70.
I'll take the. I'm probably gonna go for the second option.
Well, you have two different successes, so this is you can do a lot.
Second and third.
Did you check? I just want you to know what you're getting. Our cat is very interested in this stream today. Usually he just kind of walks around in the background, but today he's been all over our feet.
As cats should be. If nothing else, our favorite patrons here are cats.
So one was the automatic success, and so one gives you the success, and the other two give you some extra stunts.
All right, I will take the second and third option, so my opponent will be impressed by me and also do whatever I ask for.
So he's impressed and will give you useful information. So what are you exactly asking for him to tell you?
What exactly just happened? What's with the gunfire? What are we watching?
C block, basically.
Yes, what happened?
He kind of he leans in and well, I only heard it over the radio, but it sounded like the other guys, some of the MSS guys rounded up the rest of the colonists, those that didn't want to help, and kind of looks around. Well, that's they got taken care of. Apparently they didn't want anyone knowing what happened here.
Do you know what happened to Roman?
Roman, who's Roman?
He works for Seegson. I believe he is the CEO.
Oh, the Seegson guys, they all went down with C Block. There was a whole firefight over there, and down below in those labs, something went wrong, and a bunch of them ended up dying. That's what those explosions were. Did you not hear them?
Conrad just smiles and looks up at the sky.
So what are you guys after then, anyway? What's in those labs? I don't think they ever told us anything like that. I wasn't even aware there were some under there.
Well, I don't really know about that. I just know I just know we were here for the Seegson research. They were doing something. I heard something about. Now this might sound crazy, but have you heard of the book the Space Beast?
Yeah, I had that on my shelf right next to Ancient Aliens.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Well, rumor is they were doing some research similar to that. They were they were trying to. I heard they had some sort of strange species they were experimenting on down there.
Strange species, huh? I don't remember there being any natives. Actually, I've been on this planet long enough. What are the native species like? Any of them really that strange?
None of them that you know. Part of this planet, why it was so nice to inhabit, was that there wasn't any extremely deadly species. There was a predator here and there, but none of them that were dangerous enough to put the colony at risk.
Mm-hmm.
Max does have some knowledge about what was down there, however, if he would like to
Yeah.
share any of that. But yeah, you didn't know anything that was down there. You knew there was a research facility below the colony, but there was a restricted access, and so you had never been down there.
Dangerous fauna, huh? Well, there's nothing dangerous on this planet, I can tell you that. It's one big,
I don't
huge,
know,
giant goose chase.
They just saw some crazy stuff down there, and I don't know. They didn't want anyone else to. They didn't want any word of it escaping. So I don't know. I'm new to this whole thing. This is this is my first time out here.
Hey! You just did your first Marine mission. Good job, man. I'll just give him a big pat on the back. I remember my first. I remember vomiting for hours. Of course, there was a little bit more adrenaline.
What was your first mission?
Was a dropship mission into a hot zone. Whole planet fighting back. Was a couple of very close calls with flak straight on the windshield screen. But you could just turn on sensors, run without it.
I still don't understand your USCMC. They fighting your own people. You should be fighting the good fight. You should be fighting those whatever's out there and those corporations that really rule you all. You have to unshackle yourself from their corporate greed.
I just did what I had to for my
That is what
kid.
I fight for.
And Jimmy takes like another smoke. Anything for my kid.
Any other questions for this fellow here?
Do we want to would he like to accompany us down there?
Well, we're leaving. We're on the dropship, remember?
We're leaving, we're just going? Alright.
Yeah.
Dropship it.
What about the cataphract?
Yep.
Actually, that's a question.
I don't know anything about the cataphract. What's
It's the ship up in orbit.
Cataphract?
Should be
I
docked
really
at
don't
station
know.
232. Nah.
I haven't heard anything about that. It's probably being watched, but I really don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I didn't even know.
Oh, guess we'll get some
Sorry,
info in a
allergies
bit.
on this planet.
Oh yeah, you'll get used to that in about 7 months. But we are shipping
All right,
off.
so
where are we
he-
shipping off to?
So you guys all are sealed up in this drop ship, and it takes off, and you guys are, maybe you have these little windows, or you can kind of, you generally know how far you're traveling, being a pilot, and you feel yourself, break through the orbit, and just a short distance until you hear the clink as your ship docks with another, or makes it into the hangar and lands. And there's a few minutes where everyone is kind of getting ready and getting off, and you're inside the hangar of some ship. It's a rather large hangar, so this ship is clearly a size category, or maybe even two size categories larger than your than the cataphract was. And it's clearly some sort of military ship, maybe a frigate, or even just a full-on troop transport, because you see there's a second drop ship in this hangar as well. So it's got quite the capacity, and you see several vehicles lined up in an orderly fashion along the side.
Yeah.
The same commander that you had seen before approaches and welcome aboard. How was your trip up? I see you've put together your son again?
Yep, he's Fully functional, just as rambunctious as always.
What would you say? Easier to do or harder than the first time you made him?
Well, I haven't put together any androids before, actually. I've kind of just read the manuals, but they're not too different from dealing with mothers.
Oh. He chuckles. Well, you'll be assigned several quarters here. You'll understand if we don't quite trust you, but we there will be a MMS a member of the Ministry of Space Security who will come and interview each one of you to ascertain if your defection is, of course, on the up and up. But we should be underway in around 2 hours, and at that point, someone will come along to escort you to the cryo beds. In the meantime, Private, come here. And he actually points to the nearest one, who is actually the guy you were just talking to.
Yeah.
Who escort these four to deck 3, the available rooms there. If you don't mind. He snaps to attention. And then Captain turns back to you. Do you have any questions before I get to my business?
Yeah, what's our destination, Captain?
I'm afraid I cannot tell you that at the moment, but rest assured you will know shortly. As soon as I am told I can inform you, then I will let you know yourselves.
Understood, sir.
Welcome to the UPP. And he leaves, and that one private. Are you guys ready to go to your rooms?
Yeah, lead the way. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Now this looks like a such and such
leads you-
troop transport. I remember reading the briefings about these. Very nice on the inside.
Well, it's a lot better here in the hangar than it is in the rooms. I don't know what you all are used to, but the accommodations are rather minimal.
Well, I'm used to being in a cot every now and then. Can't be that bad.
So it is a short little trip through the decks of the ship, and you arrive at a small block of a single door that leads into a small, almost like a bunk room. And going inside of it, just like he said, the room accommodations are incredibly minimal. Yeah, it's just the bare necessities to get by are in this room. Well, here you go. Make yourselves at home. I'll see you later. And he shuts the door.
And Jim will go ahead and have a seat.
And you guys have been left alone in your crew quarters on the ship.
So, Conrad, what do you think about having our own ship again?
Well, it's dirty, but it'll do. Is there a coffee machine on here?
There's not a coffee
I've heard
machine
the
in this
briefings on
room.
these. If you just tap that wall 3 times, it'll pull out the coffee machine, and if you do it 4 times, it's the chicken noodle soup dispenser.
Well,
5 times for chicken vindaloo.
That's
Ooh.
real asshole, though.
Fancy.
Go on, give it a try.
Conrad just bangs on the wall.
Nah, harder.
Chicken
You're just
You bang and bang and bang, and then all of a sudden, just the wall opens up, and then just an entire shipping container of chicken noodle
Just a whole
soup falls on you.
In reality, though,
storage compartment. I knew it.
in reality, though, with them banging on walls, if he's really doing it, is there any loose panels or anything?
Ooh.
You bang on the walls, and it does seem like there is a loose panel.
Cool. I would like to remove that.
Guys, there's a loose panel.
Yeah, let's take it off.
Don't go breaking anything.
Alright, I won't break anything.
Jimmy just crosses his arms slowly and stares at you, Max.
Well, again, I'm taking the panel off, though. I am doing that. I'm not breaking anything.
Yeah. Conrad's there for like moral support. He's gotta
Max,
get his
if
friend
you
back.
if you end up messing up one more time, I'm very certain that they will have no sympathy.
Look, it's my first time with these guys. So,
I'm
yeah.
not sure that they're going
Well-
to care.
We need
I've
to get
done
out and help
everything
them.
I can for you, Max. I
Let's-
even put you back together again.
I very much appreciate that. It's the least you could do, Dad.
When
Ooh.
were you
So-
gonna tell me all this, huh?
Tell y'all what.
About this whole android business.
I didn't know until I got gut shot by the people you brought aboard the ship.
Well, it seemed like you were acting as if you were invincible, so I'm almost doubting that a little bit.
I have not changed. I've always acted that way. You wouldn't know, though. You've never been there. I say
have,
as
Max.
I'm
I've seen
taking
you
the
literally tear apart the colony.
I say this as I'm taking the panel off the wall. What's behind the panel, Eli?
You look behind the panel and you see a small, a small section of wall where there's a little bit of wiring, and you can see through it too. This is probably a panel that gives you access to, or at least a little bit up. You can see the vents. A little bit up the wall, you can see the air vents.
Is there any communications terminal in this room?
There is not.
No. Okay. Do any of you have an item that would have a readout on it?
Fortunately not. I didn't get to steal that from the armory before I left.
I'm broken itemless now since I blew it all on guns.
Okay, does my tracking device have a readout on it?
I think it's just a watch with a GPS in it, correct?
Yes, well, watches tend to have
I
faces.
don't know what...
Watches tend to
Yeah.
have faces, and those faces tend to have readouts.
Yeah, it'll be an electronic readout.
Cool. Then what I want to do, and I'm just going to lay this out as a broad stroke, let's try and get there sort of scenario. I want to open up my watch and connect the wires from the inner panel to the face of the watch so I can get a readout display of something so I know what I'm interacting with.
Okay. I'll say this is a Comtech check at a -2. As it's rather difficult.
Alright, I'm just trying to remember. Oh, shit. I was clicking the experience points thinking they were tabs. I keep forgetting what sheet I'm on. Beneath notice. Stealthy. Hidden stash. Okay. -2.